Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Cairo Local Time, and moving to tourism with Eid al-Adha holidays. Domestic tourism of all kinds is thriving, especially since Egypt ranks 4th globally in tourism diversity. To shed more light on this, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Elhamy, the tourism expert. Good afternoon, doctor. Dr. Elhamy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Cairo Local Time, Show Now TV International, and happy feast. So, Doctor, how does internal tourism in Egypt typically change during Eid al-Adha?
Well, during all the festivities, the Egyptian festivities like the Eid al-Adha, the Eid al-Sughayr, the Sham al-Nasim, there is a lot of movement from Egyptians and expatriates who live in Egypt, within Egypt. So that's very important for tourism. It brings in the tourism inside the country. And from outside the country, there is a big flux because it's the season. It's still, we are in the middle or towards the end of the season. So we still have a good number of tourists coming in from overseas. So that's, I would say, the best time of the year now for the hotels and for the transportation company and for the local airlines, etc.
So, Doctor, what are the most popular touristic destinations in Egypt during the Al-Adha feast?
The most popular, of course, are the beaches, especially the Red Sea. The most popular is Hurghada by far. It's tops #1. And then followed by Sharm, because there are very good offers now in Sharm el-Sheikh. And then we have Sokhna, because it's close to Cairo. And then we have the one-day trip to the Canal Zone. The Canal Zone attracts a lot of one-day travelers to the Canal Zone. So every part in Egypt has its own share of tourism in different ways. But the Mediterranean Sea, you have the more luxurious tourism. The tourism who are willing to spend top dollars, they go to the Mediterranean Sea, west of Alexandria, of course, starting from Elhamy.
Yes, Doctor. How does the internal tourism during Eid al-Adha affect the local economy in major tourist areas like Alexandria, Hurghada, and Sharm el-Sheikh?
Well, it does affect because it's a lot of Egyptian pounds. It brings a lot of pounds to this destination. I mentioned earlier a lot of good traffic, and to the Mediterranean Sea, a lot of high-yield traffic, which means expensive traffic. So it depends on what we are talking about, which part of Egypt. All the parts are getting a share of tourism, but with different volume and different prices.
So, Doctor, what types of tourism are most popular during Al-Adha? The beaches, as you say, and also there are cultural, religious, desert, and ecotourism. Are any of these still popular in the Al-Adha feast?
Not really, because, you know, it's a bit warm for the desert now. It's towards the end of the season, and you will find people going to Siwa or to Bahariya or to Farafra. I mean, it's more tends towards the high season, which is winter time. So this part of Egypt is not, it's not negligible, but it's not that important. So there are still people going year round to all parts of Egypt, like expatriates. They like to go to Siwa. No, I mean, but this is very special. And you see some ambassadors, they go and spend the time in the luxurious properties in Siwa, because there are some of top luxurious properties. Not luxurious because they have all the amenities, but luxurious because they are very primitive, yet they are very acceptable to European and to North American standards.
Yes, Doctor, people usually go to Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada, Alexandria, and the beaches, as you said, but are there any new or emerging destinations that have become more popular during this period in Egypt?
No, I mean, I would say the only region that is attracting a lot of tourists now is the Suez Canal zone, because the prices are very attractive and it's a one-day trip that many people can afford. So this is a new area which has to be exploited more than this. I mean, people know about it, but not enough. So that's an area, and people can sunbathe, and they can bathe in the lakes, you know, the Bitter Lake, the Great Bitter Lake, and all the lakes and the canal, Suez Canal. So it's attractive for some people, especially low-budget people. They go there to these areas.
So what are the most important measures by local authorities to prepare for the surge in domestic tourism during Al-Adha feast?
Of course, there are the basic things like availability of police, availability of fire brigades, availability of all what's needed for the safeguard of the tourists, whether he's Egyptian, foreigner, or whatever. It's needed and it's a must, and it's available in all these areas. I mean, we are not waiting for Eid al-Adha to do it, but it's there. So it's a plus. When tourism comes, it's a plus for the area, and it's no additional expenses.
So, Doctor, do religious or cultural events during Eid al-Adha encourage more internal tourism or internal travel?
If they were, yes. But unfortunately, we don't hear anymore of big plays like Zayyaty in the past time, like there were plays, there were music concerts. It does not exist that much during these days. But I hope we can recreate an agenda for tourism year-round, whether domestic tourism, tourism for expatriates, or tourism for foreigners.
Yes, Doctor, in your opinion, how can we promote for internal tourism here in Egypt? Are there any ideas out of the box using social media, for example, or any other ideas?
Social media, it's the only cost-effective media to use, because many Egyptians now use social media. They use it for bookings, and you wouldn't imagine the number of Egyptians who are used now to using social media for bookings, like the .coms, etc. So we can advertise on this media, and they are not very expensive, they are cost-effective, and they are in reach of the knowledge, and I put between inverted commas, the knowledge. People know how to book on these engines. So now it's available and people can book, and the owners can advertise on it because it reaches the client at the least expensive way.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elhamy Zayyaty, tourism expert. It's always a pleasure having you with us on Nile TV International.